it initially started, and I just got through saying I don't work from an autobiographical standpoint, but it initially started from me thinking, geez, I'm 55 years old, you know, what have I accomplished, you know, if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, you know, what do I leave behind, you know, 9 published novels and, you know, 4 kids, and so you start doing the math, right, you start thinking about it, and that's like the initial seed, it's like, I knew that I wanted a character who was dealing with that issue. It's like, I feel myself getting older, I see the gray in the mirror, I'm getting more tired than I ever was. I can't slam dunk like I used to. That was a joke, by the way. But
just keep lowering the rim.
Keep lowering the rim. Exactly.
Yeah. Playing with
this kind of this. You starting to feel, you know, father time. You know, the clock ticking and that sort of thing. And I've got no major regrets. But I thought, what if somebody was in my position, really did? There was like something that they've been running from, you know, for a long time, and they feel it catching up, you know, and they would feel the compulsion to clean up their act. And this was something that they did that made a mess of things. And they've been living for a long, long time thinking there's no way to fix it, no way to fix it, no way to fix it. And then fate, you know, takes a hand and forces, at least provides them with the opportunity to make the attempt to fix it.
Feels like that's a great metaphoric thing with your handyman too.
Exactly.
He fixes things.
And see, again, that was a component of his character that just sort of came about. You know, I didn't sit down and say, okay, who is this guy? Blah blah blah. I know he's this. I tell you what. Let me just real quickly, because this goes to your question. Where I started, there's a preface in the book, and I usually don't, not a preface, but whatever you call these things at the beginning of the book. I always use them before I get to chapter 1, and there is one in this one. It's not where I wanted to start initially. So when I first sat down and started writing, this is what I wrote, and this is where all the rest of it came from. It's not a problem young people have to worry about, but right around the time he hits his middle 40s, the man starts giving serious thought to dying well. In his sleep, in his own bed, or in the course of a street fight meant to settle something meaningful. His end doesn't have to be poignant, just devoid of indignity. You wouldn't think that would be too much to ask. But how a man leaves this world, much like the way he comes into it, is almost never his own call to make. So evil men die on satin sheets in $400 a night hotel rooms, while good ones breathe their last lying face down in cold, dark alleyways, their bodies growing stiff and blue on beds of rain-soaked newspaper. Robert James Burroughs didn't deserve to go out like royalty, perhaps, but he didn't deserve the ignoble end he made either. Shot 4 times and left to rot in the trunk of a stolen Buick LeSabre down by the Santa Monica Pier in Los Angeles, where we both grew up. So that's the start. That was the start of the book initially, and that's where everything else came from. The idea that here's somebody that's, you know, again, he thinks he's facing death. He feels it, you know, entering his world more and more, and there's this thing that he is determined to fix, that he doesn't think he hasn't up till now thought he had a chance to fix, that maybe he'll have no choice but to try to fix.